Welcome back to the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. All right, we are here. Got Buffalo Bud Stanio, and we are here to break down some fantasy football. It is week 11. It is crunch time. We are making all the last possible moves we can before trade deadlines to get our way into the fantasy football playoffs. And yeah, it's coming down to the wire now. How you doing today, bud?
Yeah, pretty good. Just doing some last minute tweaking here because we know basically we just found out literally as we were going on that Lamar Jackson is out for the Ravens with this illness, and this guy gets sicker than a kid in daycare, I guess. I have him in 3 leagues, so I'm scrambling. Luckily, I have some backups. I'm also good about it in my dynasty league because now I'm starting Justin Fields, but it is what it is. And I have Burrow otherwise to replace him in the other league, so I feel kind of good about that with Burrow coming off the bye. But it was a surprise. I mean, he was 50-50 last. No, I mean, first he was healthy. He came off the illness. He was okay. He said he was fine. Then it was he's 50-50 as of last night. And then even today, people were like, oh, yeah, he's going to start. He's going to start. Even if Fox NFL was just saying, oh, yeah, he's going to start. Oh, no, guess you were wrong on that one. He ain't starting. So now you have to go ahead and scramble and, no pun intended there, but basically you have to go ahead and figure out like what to do. And hopefully you have a good backup option. And I mean, a lot of experts seem to say like, oh yeah, it's not worth. If you have an all-star quarterback, you don't need to have another quarterback on your roster. I mean, having another quarterback on your roster for a situation like this,
Or if you own Kyler Murray.
Yeah. But although rare, even with your superstar quarterbacks, you still have a bye that you have to deal with. And I mean, you go ahead and shop it. Shop your quarterback and get somebody else, your backup quarterback, that is. But having a good backup quarterback like that, especially in a week because I mean we're 4 weeks out from playoffs, it's a good thing to have for situations like this specifically. And I'm really glad I have Joe Burrow in place because it still guarantees, and that doesn't guarantee, but it keeps my chances high of still being able to secure a win, especially when I'm in like 4th place, 3rd place, and I'm trying to not fall to the back end of that pack. I'd like to be in the middle or at least at the top, and having that backup quarterback helps me keep there,
Yeah, it's do or die time. And yeah, people like Lamar Jackson, people like Kyler Murray, these guys that we draft at a high position, hoping that we can depend on them week in, week out. It's tough when they go down like this. And transitioning a little bit to Kyler Murray from a selfish point of view, because as you know, as I've talked about plenty of times on the show, I did go all in on him early this year. Made sure to draft him in every league possible. And, man, he's just so talented when he's on the field. And all signs were pointing towards him playing this week, too. Like, he practiced this week. He was in, I believe, every practice this week, albeit in a limited capacity in some points. But up until last night, it looked like he was trending towards playing. But it makes sense. He has a bye week next week. But really, this leaves us as, what do you do in a position when your quarterback plays at 4 p.m. Eastern time, at least, and he is a late game player, and you're very limited if you want to wait it out and see, is this guy going to play? So it leaves you in a tough position since it does not appear that he's going to be playing this week. That does open up your possibilities a little bit if you want to take that risk and just know the possibility, hey, they might just say randomly last minute that Kyler's going to play, and then you're just giving up those points. But that leads me to my next point, where we talk heavily about streamers on this show. We have our waiver show every Tuesday and every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We release 1-minute episodes on Instagram of our new series called The Streaming Service, where Bud, me, John, Bobby, the other 2 guys on the show, will each break down 3 streaming quarterbacks, tight ends, or defenses to help you get through the week. So this week, a couple names to look out for from that streaming position. The big name that I mentioned that I picked up in a couple of my leagues to start over injured Kyler Murray this week is going to be Tua Tagovailoa. He is going up against a tough Jets defense, and he has done surprisingly well, better than you would assume in the games that he has actually completed, averaging over, I believe, 22 fantasy points per game in those matchups. Now going up against a very weak Jets defense, albeit on the road. I think that Tua is a nice look to plug in this week. Bud, as a Lamar Jackson owner, who are some of those names that you're looking to pick up off of the waiver wire and start for this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of options in most leagues. It's just a matter of how crazy some of the people you play with are, because there are people that stash a ton of quarterbacks. So depending, I mean, it could be kind of thick, but thick or thin. So basically, I'll just go ahead and check a random league in my side, and we could see kind of who's available. I see Trevor Lawrence. I don't really like that matchup, but he's there. Heineke is there. That's pretty decent. You might be able to find Cam Newton. I'm doing that. I picked him up. I'm just starting him because I really don't like Carson Wentz this week against the Bills. It's a little bias on my side, but yeah, I mean, that's there. And I mean, if it's desperation and you have absolutely nobody to start, there's always Tim Boyle. But I'm just saying, there are guys. But I mean, in a league that you and I share, K-Mac, Mac Jones is still a free agent, and I don't understand why. I mean, he's not putting up the craziest numbers, but I mean,
that's a solid backup right there.
Numbers, it's there. Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with that. I mean, he didn't have the greatest game against Atlanta, but I mean, that was a hardcore running game. And he did throw one interception, so he only had 10 points, but he's throwing close to 200 yards and sometimes 2 touchdowns a game. It's not bad. I mean, keep in mind that he's for 2 in offensive rookie of the year. He's behind Jamar Chase. And he's not a bad option. But I mean, there are still guys that are putting around in some of your league that you can go ahead and you can pick up, but they're not going to be top guys. I mean, you might be able to find a diamond in the rough sometimes, or you might, if you pounced early, you were lucky enough to get Cam Newton, like I was. And I know John is also doing the same thing. He got Cam Newton also, but I mean, there's still options out there, and just a matter of if it's desperation enough. I mean, even in the league that I manage, Cam Newton's there, and Justin Fields is there. I love Justin Fields this week. I think the Bills have a great chance of upset this week too. Don't be surprised if Justin Fields runs for 100 yards and maybe gets a touchdown on the ground and a touchdown in the air. I think it's totally possible. They're finally adjusting the offense to his needs, and he's able to play a little bit. But yeah, I mean, even looking at my league, I see Daniel Jones, free agent. I see Jimmy Garoppolo. Great matchup this week for Jimmy Garoppolo against the Jaguars. Who else do we see? Baker Mayfield, I would not start, but he's there. Yeah, Simeon's there. I like Trevor Simeon. Tyrod Taylor, don't really like him, but he's there. I mean, shit. If you really want to, you could go for Joe Flacco. I mean, I don't like that, but that's also an option. There's plenty out there.
Speaking of Joe Flacco, spoiler alert: one of the members of our team has Joe Flacco as their breakout player of the week. We'll get to that later.
No, sir, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Spoiler alert, also, it is not either of us.
No.
All right.
No way. No way ever.
So, all right, speaking of some quarterbacks, let's make our way over to some of the questions coming in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the Twitch stream. You can also ask them on Twitter or Instagram at LMF Scramble. So this question coming in, PPR, play Tua over Justin Herbert?
Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. You start Justin Herbert over Tua. I know that the matchup looks pretty enticing, but the Steelers are without a few key defensive pieces. There's no Minka Fitzpatrick. There's no TJ Watt this week, and I just like the playmaking ability. I really don't like the situation for Tua over there. I think that he might have a good game, but yeah, I like Herbert better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on Tua this week. I think that, like we talked about plenty earlier, this also might be a little bit of bias coming from me. But I like his matchup, but still, Herbert's another guy that you drafted high for a reason. And, he hasn't been the best as of the last few weeks. Definitely had a stronger start to the year, and his numbers are coming back down to earth a little bit. But, yeah, I think I need to exclude myself from this conversation because I'm very close to saying something I probably shouldn't be saying. But, I don't know. I got a good feeling about Tua this week.
I'm not taking away from that at all. I think Herbert has a better chance to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns than Tua does. And I mean, we're at the point where you want to get a decent amount of points because you're probably facing somebody that has like a really strong team or a better matchup. So I mean, I like Tua, but let's keep in mind that the Dolphins have done some very questionable things this season. At least the Chargers are trying.
That was the old Dolphins. The Dolphins are streaking now.
Oh man, I've heard it all. Every year it's the same thing.
And how many undefeated Super Bowls have the Bills won?
How many undefeated Super Bowls has anybody else won?
Exactly. All right, got some more questions coming in. All right, have to start Flacco or Lamar's backup without even giving their names. Which one should I go with? No other choice.
Okay, well, so Lamar's backup is Tyler Huntley. He's not bad. He's a similar quarterback, similar play style, so he's not going to rush as much. But I like his weapons a little more, but they don't have Hollywood, and it's just Bateman and Duvernay and
Flacco.
Mark Andrews. I don't like Flacco's matchup either. I mean, if I had, man, this is terrible. I'd go Huntley. That's just me. I don't like Flacco. Flacco's burned me in the past so much that I'm going to be biased towards him. I vowed to never start him again after he netted me like a -4 points in the London game years ago. So, but yeah, I really don't like it. The Jets are in a terrible spot. They're going against a good defense in Miami, or against Miami. They're playing in New York. I don't like him. I'd rather go with Huntley there. At least he has a chance.
All right. So, Nick asks in Carter or Gibson as my flex.
Yeah, I would go Gibson there. It seems this injury, we talked about it last week, and it was pretty clear that they're not going to let this like shin thing bother him at all. He got, I believe he got over 20 carries last week. You're starting Gibson.
Yeah, but that's another situation where I actually do like Michael Carter a lot in this week. Gibson is starting to look like he's starting to live up to his potential a little bit. Last week was a great week for him, and I think if they use him anyway like they used him last week, the sky's the limit for Gibson. I think he has a higher upside. Michael Carter, on the other hand, going up against a Dolphins' running defense, which isn't very good. But the Jets are going to be behind by 4 touchdowns for most of the game. So, all right. So let's look at some other questions. All right, PPR, ready, bud? PPR, need 2.
Yep.
Flex, Darrell Williams, Gallup, Dawson Knox, CEH. We're starting 2 of them.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll say Gallup for one. I like Gallup. And we can see 1 sec.
Our other options would be Darrell Williams or CEH, which is interesting to see how they're going to split time with CEH coming back, or Dawson Knox. To me, I love Darrell Williams while CEH is out, but now that CEH is back in, I'm not sure I like either of them.
That's a question. Yeah, that's a question. I mean, it's for sure going to be Gallup. And honestly, I would say probably going to be Darrell Williams. In terms of ranking, I'm just looking. I mean, you still have Darrell Williams within the top 25. CEH is going to be very hard to try to figure out until we know exactly how he's going to perform. Is he on a snap count? We don't know. At least we know Darrell Williams is like a sure bona fide starter, and he's going to get work. Whether it be in the passing game or be on the ground, he's still going to get that work. But Michael Gallup is for sure going to be that option. Dawson Knox is basically a tight end dependent or a touchdown dependent tight end. So we know that he is capable of getting 30 points. That's totally a possibility, but it's also dependent on him being Josh Allen's favorite target this week. And Josh Allen threw to like 8 different people last week. So, after what you will. And but yeah, CH and Knox are definitely at the bottom of the barrel there. But I do like Gallup and Darrell Williams play out of those.
Well, speaking of Gallup, Kittle or Gallup in the flex PPR?
Yeah, Kittle there. I don't think that's a question. Kittle is definitely getting work. He's much tight end 2 on the week. So yeah, I mean, as a flex option, it's definitely Kittle. Gallup is going to get work, but go with what's safe because even though Gallup, it's like okay, Cooper's out, so Gallup's going to get more work. You also need to consider that Dalton Schultz is still there, and he's a person, so he's gonna get catches. So and he's gonna be a factor, and so is CeeDee Lamb's there too. I do think Dak is going to spread the ball out, but I mean, if you want, safer floor for sure. I mean, keep in mind too that Gallup's only like a week removed from coming off IR, so he's probably still getting back into the swing of things. I expect him to have a good game because he's definitely trying to prove that that he is deserving of the money in a contract. He's in a contract year. So, but I still like Kittle here, and they're going against the Jaguars. It's gonna be pretty nice. So I go with Kittle.
All right, so this is a name I see floating around in a lot of questions, and also one that I'm curious about as well. We were all very high on Rashad Bateman as soon as the news came out that Hollywood Brown wouldn't be playing. What are your thoughts now of Rashad Bateman without Lamar Jackson throwing to him?
Yeah, that's a big question mark. I don't know how I feel about it. Just because Lamar and Rashad Bateman were starting to actually build something up there. We're starting to see like 80-yard games. I know Bateman came on a little late in that Dolphins game last week, but at least he started to get involved coming off this injury. It's a question mark for me. I mean, honestly, we don't know. We don't know really what they do in practice. We're kind of hoping that the game plan stays the same and they run the same routes and they go with the same offensive scheme, and hopefully that's the case. And I mean, if that's the case, then Bateman's probably going to get work, but we won't know for sure until we see it. I mean, if it's a flex option for Rashad Bateman, I maybe like it, but I'm not starting him over anybody that's ranked above wide receiver 3 or 8. I see him way lower. I definitely see him as a desperation flex wide receiver at this point.
How do you like him in the pack against, say, a Jarvis Landry or a Brandon Ayuk asking for a friend?
I think he's in the conversation there. I think he's out of those two. I would probably, I'd roll the dice, but I think I might like Ayuk a little bit more, just because they're going against Jaguars.
The Browns are going up against the Lions. Oh, but that game, I can't get that game out of my head. That Steelers-Lions game, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
That was bad.
The Lions
that almost
don't
made
lose,
me hate football.
But they don't win either. Yeah, no, it is bad, man. I hate when games tie. I don't like it. I don't think NFL games should tie. I think there should always be a winner. Definitely. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, start going to college rules. Get sudden death. There has to be a winner. There cannot be a tie.
Yeah.
It's so boring and dumb.
And not only
especially when the teams are bad.
Not only that, Bud was at what may have been one of the worst NFL games of all time recently, with the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Dolphins. It was just a boring game. Up until the fourth quarter, it redeemed itself a little bit. But just a couple days later, that Sunday game between the Lions and the Steelers, I don't think it gets any worse than that. That was just some of the worst football you ever seen. Jared Goff went into overtime not cracking 100 yards against the Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger. This is real. This is real NFL football that's happening before our eyes.
It was bad, man. I was not having a good time. That first half, and there was a lot of people there. There was a lot of people. It was probably most people I've seen at a Dolphins game recently. And it was not fun. The lines were long for everything, and there was a lot of people there. And it was a pretty lackluster game, but sometimes that's the way it goes. But I could definitely vouch I was not happy, but I did hit a few props, so happy on that front. But yeah, I was surprised. There's a lot of people, a lot of Ravens fans wearing Tucker jerseys. It was Tucker and Lamar Jackson jerseys more than anything.
One of the few franchises that you're going to see a ton of kicker jerseys.
Yeah, a lot of Tucker jerseys. It was either number 8 or number 9 everywhere. And I was like, dang, man. It's like, this is crazy. Guy hits the longest kick in NFL history, and everybody's got his jersey. It's funny to me.
Well, I do see a lot of Dolphins kicker jerseys, but they're usually just Ray Finkel. But all right, let's see here. We got some more questions. Man, this is another one talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Darrell Williams. CEH has been the starter. Darrell Williams is just Darrell Williams has done better without Clyde Edwards-Helaire than Clyde Edwards-Helaire has done all season. Yeah,
if you got your option, you're starting somebody over both of those. But if not, most people don't. I would still just roll with Darrell Williams until we see CEH back and we have a better understanding. If you have to, that's going to be my answer every time.
Now, question: would you do Darrell Williams over, say, a Tony Pollard?
That's a different situation, because they're practically splitting time, and there have been cases where I've started both Pollard and Zeke because I have the handcuff, but Pollard's getting 7 to 10 points every week, So, I mean, his floor is there. And, I mean, that's tough. I would just probably go Pollard based on how crazy that offensive game is going to be. I think that's going to be a wild one. But I would probably just go Pollard over that. But Darrell Williams is still going to get work. I think he's going to get more work than people think. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be CEH fully this week at all.
All right, so Rashad Bateman or Kenny Golladay with Lamar out?
I'd probably go Kenny Golladay.
Huh, that's interesting. I would probably
well, I mean, Sterling Shepard's out.
Okay.
And they're going against the Bucs. I mean, it's not a terribly great matchup for the Giants overall, just because they're going against the Bucs and Tom Brady. But Shepard's out. Secondary's not that great. I mean, at least Daniel Jones is throwing to him. At least the Bateman.
Yeah. So, I mean, with Huntley in, what do you think that does to the Baltimore Ravens running game? It has just been confirmed that Latavius Murray is going to be playing today. Do we like him a little bit more now?
I don't like anything about that running game. I've been involved with it, and I've basically gotten out of it. I think I have Freeman somewhere. I'm not starting him.
It has got to be a completely different game with Lamar out, though. Like, he opens up the running for there, but it makes you wonder who is going to be that leading rusher with Lamar Jackson out.
Good question.
Are they going to be running the ball as much as they usually do? He's the guy who leads that rushing attack. So it should be interesting to see what they do with Huntley. I can guarantee you that Tyler Huntley isn't going to be getting as many rushing yards as Lamar Jackson does. But, you know, I do like Latavius Murray a lot this week coming in. Without Lamar Jackson there, I think that they will be using him a lot. But, again, like you say, it's a lot of people that they're feeding the ball to out of the backfield. So it's hard to tell. They've been doing just fine for the most part, with the exception of that Dolphins game, without Latavius Murray in the last few weeks. So, all right.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, but I don't know. The running game though for the Ravens, I'm so skittish on, because we have no idea. We have no idea what's stopping them from pulling a Falcons.
That's very true.
And then seeing a bunch of unnamed people all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, I think that their matchup in general has just gotten a lot worse now without Lamar Jackson, because I think more than a lot of teams, he is the identity of that team. And they are on the road at the Bears. Like you mentioned earlier, I think that the Bears have a pretty good shot with no Lamar Jackson to win this game.
I wanted to lay a bet on the Bears, and they pulled it. So probably won't be able to do that. Oh, it's back up. What's the line? Hold on. Bears are still underdogs.
By how much?
I mean,
they were getting 5 points before.
Yeah, now it's 1.5 points.
Wow.
I would take them as outright wins, though, at the point. They're still plus 105. So, I mean, I like that a lot. So I might lay some ducats on that one. Try to double my money.
All right. Rashad Bateman or Robbie Anderson?
Robbie Anderson.
And so you really are pretty low on Rashad Bateman this week. I mean, Robbie Anderson isn't a terrible play either.
No, well, I think Robbie Anderson's numbers are going to go up with Cam back, but it's no hate against Bateman. I think he's great. I think it's awesome, but with no Lamar there, that's where I'm at. I'm not trusting Tyler Huntley, and I mean, I hope that's everybody's like expectation too. If you're really to throw all your eggs into the Huntley basket, then go for it. but I'm not.
Yeah, it kind of scaring me off a little bit. I got Rashad Bateman starting right now. But I think I am going to throw in Jarvis Landry against the Lions or Brandon Ayuk. We'll see. We'll see where I'm at by the time the show ends, but got to decide between Bateman, Landry, or Ayuk. All right, so this question is coming in. PPR, should I play Deontay Foreman, Devontae Freeman, or Tony Pollard over Barkley or Booker tomorrow?
Man, yeah. So here's the thing with Barkley and Booker. Both questionable tomorrow. So we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, don't be surprised if they activate Booker and then they say, yeah, we're going to give Barkley one more week. That's my guess. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody will know until we won't find out until tomorrow, probably. So it's not a good situation. I think if
and they are going up against a very tough rushing defense. So
yeah.
if I were the Giants, I wouldn't run a rush Barkley out there.
That's the idea. That's what a lot of people are thinking. And so I mean, if you want to wait for one of those guys and fire them up, you can. But personally, I would go with Foreman, not Freeman. Foreman, because he is getting the clear work over there right now. I'm pretty sure McNichols is out. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he's out. Adrian Peterson is not getting a full workload, and they're going against the Texans, which is like the best possible matchup. I'm starting Foreman this week, so I hope that gives some amount of clarity.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Other guys, I'm not starting.
It sucks when one of your stars is playing on Monday night and you're not sure whether to start someone else over them because you still have that questionable tag on them. And sometimes you just got to think about it logically. Like, does it make sense to bring back Saquon Barkley in this situation? It's like, does it make sense to bring Kyler Murray back in a matchup against the Seahawks when you have a bye week coming up, when you could just give him 2 more weeks of rest? So, I mean, there's all these kind of situations where you got to think about it, how the team would think about it. I know a lot of it comes down to whether or not this player is feeling good enough to perform at the time of the game, but you got to put a little bit of common sense to it at the same time, whether it makes sense for those teams to put those players in that situation. So, yeah, in this case, I do agree with Bud. I would go Foreman in this situation. But you have to be okay with that possibility that Barkley does come back. And even then, you're not too sure with that matchup against the Tampa Bay defense. So that I agree with Bud in that situation. I would go Foreman. All right. Oh, we got a defense question. Are you ready?
Sure.
Miami or Arizona defense? Cardinals going up against the Seahawks. Cardinals, I believe, are still the second-ranked fantasy football defense. First or second, I know they're up there with the Bills. The Miami Dolphins have been surging the last couple of weeks, and they are going up against they're going up against Joe Flacco. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, definitely like the Dolphins a little bit more. If Arizona is a good defense, but if Russell Wilson, all of a sudden the finger's working and he gets better and he gets hot, it's a wash, man. Like, it's going to be bad news for Arizona. So I do like Miami better in this spot.
Absolutely. All right, so I think it's about time for rapid-fire fantasy questions, starting with the Colts at the Bills.
Oh, we're doing rapid-fire?
Yes!
Oh, Jesus. All right.
All right, hold on. Pause. Hold on. I'm going to give you a countdown, alrighty? That was just a little, not enough time to prepare. So, 3, 2, 1,
yeah,
go!
I was like, what the heck? Okay, Carson Wentz is a fade for me this week. He's still a good quarterback, but the Bills' defense scares me. Pittman's a risky start too, but Jonathan Taylor, you have to start. I think that he's still going to end up getting for 100 yards on the ground, so I really like him a lot. Bills, Allen, Stiggs, you start, risky play. At running back is Moss. Knox in deeper leagues is a touchdown-dependent tight end.
Wow. You didn't need all that time. All right, next we have the Bengals at the Raiders.
Bengals at the Raiders. Oh, man. Wait, you're mixing me up, bro. What is this? All right, Joey franchise is back with his stud receivers against the easy Raiders defense. I love Chase. I love Higgins. Boyd in that order. Mix it today. I love them on both sides, pass catching and rushing. Raiders, Carr looks good. Jacobs is going to get involved. Hunter Renfrow is awesome. Hope Wall can bounce back and get some work.
All right, I'll take it in the correct order from now on. I don't want to throw you off any more than you already thrown off. Ravens, Bears.
Okay, Jackson's out. We've already talked about this. Huntley is the backup. I don't like the running back situation. I've already expressed that in great order. Your Bateman, desperation flex. You're still starting Mark Andrews. I don't like him as much right now. Hollywood's out, of course. Fields, I like him on the run game. Montgomery's back. He got a week to rest after coming back. Like him a lot. Robinson's out. I like Darnell Mooney.
Lions at
Cole
the
Kmet
Browns.
will get work. Goff is also out. They're saying he's going to be out on Thanksgiving too, so it's a Tim Boyle show. So take that for what you will. Don't think he's startable. Don't know how that affects Hockenson, who was only targeted once last week, and he didn't even catch it. Swift starts. He got 30 carries last week, 30 plus, but Jamal Williams is back. Mayfield, not startable. Chubb is a surefire start, though. I like him a lot, and
Texans
they're going to lean on the run
Titans.
game here. Yeah, this one's all Titans. I like Donta Foreman. Revenge game, maybe? I don't know. A.J. Brown, good. Ryan Tannehill, good. Anyone not named Brandon Cooks for the Texans, bad. Running back game is a mess there, and I don't like anything else.
All right, so this leads us up to one of the best rivalries in sports between the Packers and the Vikings.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think the Vikings might end up with the W here when it's all said and done. But should be a good one. Aaron Jones is out. A.J. Dillon is in. It's going to be a monster day for him. Regardless, Devontae Adams is going to be the man otherwise, him and Aaron Rodgers. Vikings, probably going to answer back. Cook traditionally has good games against the Packers. Thielen and Jay Jetta are going to have a good game. Conklin's a sneaky tight end, and Cousins has been playing pretty decent too.
Another one of the best rivalries in sports. The Dolphins and the Jets.
Yeah, Dolphins are going to show why they're big brother to the Jets. So Tua has just a juicy matchup. Low Waddle, Gaskin's going to get an increased workload. Gesicki, Dolphin D is going to feed. But, also on the offensive side, keep in mind that Dolphins are going to spread the ball around. I'll see somebody named Patrick Laird scoring a touchdown probably. Flacco, he starts, he's trash. Michael Carter's going to get shut down.
All right, we have the Saints at the Eagles.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is back. Kenny Gainwell is on the inactive report, healthy scratch. Hurts is going to have a day, though. Goddard is back. Devonta Smith, though, going to be shadowed by Lattimore. Wonder if that's going to be a problem for them there. Ingram is in because Alvin Kamara is also out. I love Ingram a lot in DFS, of course. Sin is a streaming quarterback, and I like Troutman.
We have the football team at the Carolina Panthers.
Cam Newton's certified starter. It's happening.
He's back.
I'm streaming him. He's back. DJ Moore has increased value. Same thing with Robbie Anderson. We talked about that. CMC's increased value, barring a soft tissue injury. Carolina D is sneaky good. Washington starting your Gibson. If you have better options over Terry McLaurin, you might want to do that, but he's a safe floor regardless.
Did we do 49ers Jaguars yet?
No, that's next.
Go for it.
All right. Kittle, you're obviously starting. Debo looks to continue his role. His 108.8 yards per game trails only Cooper Kupp at 114 yards per game. Elijah Mitchell is out. Jeff Wilson is going to eat. Yep. Jags, James Robinson's good to go. Dan Arnold is having a target feast. Look for him to get some work. Everybody else I pretty much fade there.
Game of the year, Cowboys and Chiefs.
Yeah, awesome game, or so we think. I really hope it is. All these big games we hope turn out big, and they never do. Cooper is out for 2 weeks, at least, on the COVID list. Lamb, Schultz, all going to go up. Dak's going to be awesome. Zach and Pollard probably going to split, but I like them a lot here, too. Chiefs stars Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, great. CH is back. You wonder how that's going to affect Darrell Williams. We talked about it earlier. So we'll see what happens there.
Cardinals at the Seahawks.
Wow, I actually don't have that on my list. So here we go. So Colt McCoy's going to get the start there. Like James Conner a lot. He's going to get some work. I like Kirk a lot. I think he's going to get some work there on the receiving side since Hopkins is out. Russell Wilson, we hope shows up and gets some work. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I like Metcalf more. Alex Collins is getting the start because Chris Carson is now out for the season.
All right, and we have the Steelers and the Chargers.
Yes, Steelers and Chargers. Pretty neat matchup. We know Big Ben's coming back apparently. So I like his receivers to go up, but Deontay Johnson, of course, is number one. And I like Freiermuth getting work again. Najee Harris is going to get a lot of volume-based work. On the Chargers, we talked about it earlier. Steelers are missing defensive pieces. T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick.
And last but not least, the Giants at the Buccaneers. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Again, the Bucs are playing. Oh, they had the last week. Giants are coming off the bye. Barkley is both. Maybe he comes back, so keep an eye on that. No Sterling Shepard, so I like Tony a little bit more there. Buck, usual suspects. Evans, Godwin, no Antonio Brown. Gronk is questionable. You're starting
and
Brady.
That is time. Embrace the chaos.
I don't like the chaos. I'm over it.
All right.
I'm over it.
Were there any of those games that you wanted to spend a little bit more time talking about a little bit more?
Yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at that Lions game.
Oh boy.
No, I'm kidding. Nah.
No, I want to hear about that Landry Baker Mayfield stack I'm about to unfortunately start in my
I'm not
Superflex
even.
league.
I have nothing. I have nothing there, man. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it, K-Mac.
Am I gonna? Should I do the Landry Mayfield stack? Is it gonna happen? Is today the day against the Lions?
If you want to lose, I like. No, we'll talk about the obvious one, the Chiefs and the Cowboys. Yeah, we basically like anybody who's a receiver in that game on both sides. And going to that one, actually, before we talk about the obvious with the say like your Tyreeks, your Lambs, your Gallups, your Kelseys, all that stuff. Sneaky, I like Byron Pringle a lot because DeMarcus Robinson's just like falling off a cliff, and he's not the number 2 wide receiver anymore. Pringle is. So in deeper leagues, maybe, those leagues where you have 3 wide receivers and 2 flex spots and stuff, I think he's worth like a throw in there as a flex. In this week specifically, DFS, you can get him on the cheap. I think Pringle's going to get sneaky, get some work. Everyone's going to be like, oh, I never saw this coming. I think it's going to happen. Again, kidding guess, but I like the other guys, and so go to the Dallas side real quick. Cooper being out is I think we need to treat it as when Gallup wasn't there. So what happened when Gallup wasn't there was Cooper. It was either Cooper or Lamb getting a lot of the target share, and there was one week that Lamb didn't get a whole lot, and then there was the other week where nobody got a whole lot when they lost to the Broncos. So, but otherwise, it was basically one or the other, and that also impacted Schultz, and that brought Schultz into the thick of things, and that's why Schultz ended up being ranked really high at that time. And that's going to happen again. I think Schultz is going to be involved in this game a lot. So if you're a Dak Prescott owner, you're very happy because you still have all these options. And that's not stopping Wilson from being involved either. I know he was questionable, but I'm pretty sure he's playing. I haven't seen him on anything yet. So you hope that he can get involved, and that's also not stopping the other guys from getting involved, whether it's your Zeke or your Pollards getting involved in the play action. But so it's going to be interesting to see what happens now, because Cooper's a monster, and we know that he's not going to be there for Thanksgiving either. So this is going to be a great precursor as to what we can expect on Thursday. So definitely paying attention to this game. I'm super hyped for it. And then the Chiefs side, everybody's still questioning what Patrick Mahomes we're going to see. It's a good question. It's fair, because he hasn't been his like true self. He hasn't had these crazy 400 something yard games except like last week. And so it's like, okay, can he keep it up? Can he come back? Hopefully he can light up Hill and Kelsey, and I'm rooting for the Kelsey side of things, of course. And I just talked about Pringle, Robinson maybe. And then who knows if Darrell Williams is going to get involved in that pass game too, because I mean, we know he's definitely capable of getting that bomb or even getting play action passes. So, or even off of like an RPO or something. So we'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, it's going to be a very awesome game to watch. I'm very interested, and I hope it turns out into a crazy high scoring game. We love them, especially for fantasy. We love them for DFS, and it's definitely something we want to see. But the one thing that I'm worried about is it turns into like a 10-7 at halftime, and then we're kind of like, what happened?
That would be so disappointing.
and nothing this season surprises me anymore.
No.
Nothing. Like, the Bills are supposed to blow out the Jags. 9-6 is the final. What? Like, there's no touchdown scored in that game. And, we don't like seeing that. We want to see crazy amounts of points and a bunch of things happening, and,
Yeah, like the Texans are about to go on the road against the Titans, and Brandon Cooks is going to put up 300 receiving yards while the Texans blow out the Titans. I wouldn't be surprised.
Anything's possible. Anything is possible this season. And that's that's just showing, if you look at like a lot of the teams that are Super Bowl hopefuls and you look at their records, it's like, bro, what? Like, AFC is wide open still. And that's not to say that the NFC isn't either. There's no clear-cut person that's just running away with things right now, or no clear-cut team that's running away with things right now. And I think a good indicator of that was, it's like, oh, the Rams are awesome. Rams got this. Rams got that. ESPN didn't know what to say when San Francisco blew them out. I was like, okay, Han, we got to take Von Miller, take him off the pedestal, take OBJ, take him off the pedestal, and now what? You got no Robert Woods anymore, and you got Cooper Kupp, and I mean, that was the lone like bright side for them. But yeah, I mean, it's a great indication that anybody could win this year, and you'll love to see it. And just I'm sick of seeing the same teams always up in it. I like when I mean, the NFL doesn't like it. Ratings markets don't like it, but I like when the smaller markets get in, because it's good. It's good for the health of like the league in general, like for the smaller teams being in, because it it helps get a greater audience for those areas, and to help get more eyes on the sport and make people more involved.
Absolutely.
Like, I just think it's funner that way, instead of keeping the same teams and being stagnant.
All right, let's get back to some of these questions. Andrew asking, with Kyler out, I need to decide between Huntley and Fields to start.
Yeah, I like Fields.
Yeah. Fields is coming into it, and each game he's playing, he's getting better and better. He's getting better chemistry with his receivers, whether it be Mooney, Cole Kmet, even throwing the ball to Al Robinson a little bit. So I'm high on Fields this week. He is a guy that I'm starting over a injured Kyler Murray in one of my leagues that I picked up as well. I know you're in the same boat, so yeah, we're all team Fields this week.
I have a question for you.
Uh-oh, I don't like this.
since I'm starting Justin Fields, do I start Cole Kmet at
Over.
tight end? Pat Freiermuth. Freiermuth's ranked higher.
Yeah, they may be ranked higher. To me, I like Freiermuth. I really do. And I think that his upside is more just because he is becoming more of a focal point in that offense. Like, I think with the injury to Juju, he might have actually been the one who's been really coming out hottest since then. He's been one of those top receivers to throw to. Obviously, you have Deontay Johnson, but Pat Freiermuth is really coming in his zone as one of those focal points of that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. However, stacks are fun. And Cole Kmet, I like him as a play this week. He is he's a streaming tight end that I picked up myself, and I am starting in a couple leagues because I have Higbee as my tight end for a ton of leagues. So yeah, I'm running with Kmet also. So we go in the Bears stack. No Lamar.
I don't know. Maybe
Bears winning this game.
Maybe, I don't know. I like I said, man, I think I might drop some ducats on it right now.
All right,
not lying.
right now, both of us are gonna go bet on the Chicago Bears to win this game, or at least. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Halting the show as we put some money on the Chicago Bears to win this game that they're probably gonna get blown out in. All right, Chicago Bears plus 1.5. I'm taking it. Here we go.
You're taking the 1.5?
Yeah. Oh, you're taking them to win straight up? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's take the Bears to win straight up. All right.
What are you putting on?
On the Bears to win straight up, I'm putting $1 million on this right now. Done. All right. Life savings down the drain. I just bet on the Chicago Bears. So, Justin Fields, this is how much we trust you today. So, to answer your question... man, I lost this question. All right, Huntley or Fields?
Fields
are all in. Oh boy, I can't believe I'm saying this. We are all in on Fields. Man, so
well, I'm $20 in on the Bears. I'm such a degenerate. Oh, this is so terrible.
I just threw in 5. I'm not that crazy. All right. So, our money's where our mouth is. All 5 of my dollars.
20 of mine. If I win, I'm buying a pizza.
All right. So, Huntley or Fields? We are in on Fields. We are in on the Chicago Bears. The Bears. All right.
The Bears.
Let's see here. Ooh. Tua versus the Jets or Rodgers versus Minnesota? Come on, guys. This is a dumb question. It's Tua.
I mean, I think he's gonna get a fair amount of points, but I would go Rodgers.
Yeah, probably. He had to go Rodgers here. Even though Tua has got the matchup. Yeah. He's healthy. He's got his finger working nice. Even though he came in. Oh man, that whole last game against the Ravens where he just magically appeared. He ran in the game.
That's the Brian Flores special, man.
Oh yeah. Man, what a great guy. All right. So let's get to some more of your questions. If you haven't already, please give us a follow at LMF Scramble on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We appreciate your follow. We're here to answer all of your questions every week. And we also give out plenty of advice throughout the week. If you're not already, please follow us or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts. We release a weekly waiver show where we go over our top waiver wire picks for the week. And if that's not enough, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we reveal our top 3 streaming picks at the QB, tight end, and defense positions. on our new series, the streaming service. So we're just releasing a ton of free content throughout the week. And all we ask that you do is you give us a subscribe, give us a follow on all these platforms, wherever it is you're listening, wherever it is you are trying to get that information. And every Sunday, we are here for you. So anytime you have a question for us, whether you're asking on our Twitch, on our Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, whatever the method is, we're here to answer all your questions and help get you through the week. That being said, Herbert or Rodgers this week?
Oh, now see that one. I like this. I like Herbert more because of the defensive players out for the Steelers and the fact that he has more weapons. I think they're going to run A.J. Dillon a lot more than Aaron Rodgers is going to throw. So, and I think Keenan Allen will have a day, man. I'm banking on it. So I like him a lot more.
All right, which flex start option to play? You got one spot. Manny Sanders, Elijah Moore, or Kenny Golladay?
Ooh, man, that's tough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Let me see what I got here. Sanders and Moore is. I think it's going to be Sanders, but not by much. I think Miami's defense is not a favorable matchup for Elijah Moore. And I think that Manny Sanders has a better chance of getting thrown his way. Josh Allen's built up pretty nice with him, so I do like Sanders just a little bit more here, but I do like Elijah Moore also. So
you're going with Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Oh wow, really? Hey,
I'm not
so by
accusing
the way,
you of being biased.
Salvan Ahmed is out. Ahmed.
Is it Gaskin season?
Somebody, I won't say which analyst this is, seems to think that Duke Johnson is climbing up the depth chart and he's adding them in deeper leagues.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but I hope it's Gaskin because I'm starting him and I don't really have a choice in the matter. So I'll take Gaskin. I'll take Gaskins today. Gaskins.
Plural Gaskins.
Plural Gaskins. I hope there's more than one of them. So real quick, I'm gonna just shout off some actives, inactives. Active, we have James Robinson. We talked about. There's defensive players involved in here too. Darius Leonard is playing. Derek Barnett, Miles Sanders, Davian Taylor, Taysom Hill is playing. Latavius Murray, and inactives that are important. Lamar Jackson, Allen Robinson is inactive.
Really?
Jared Goff. Yeah, Tremaine Edmonds is inactive for the Bills. So linebackers against the Colts. So keep in mind for your Mo Alley Coxes, maybe, perhaps. Elijah Mitchell inactive. Ricky Seals-Jones is inactive. Donovan Peoples-Jones inactive. Anthony Schwartz inactive. There's literally nobody to throw to for Cleveland.
Jarvis
so
Landry.
I might be editing, maybe, but I still think Nick Chubb's going to run for like 200 yards, dude. I think it's going to happen. I might have to change my DFS lineup or make another one. Have a backup plan in case this Cowboys Chiefs game duds out, and
now that
backup.
Yeah, I'll be riding high on that Dak Gallup stack.
I got it. I love it. Me and you both have it. I'm all about it. All about it.
All right, Scary Terry or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore. DJ Moore by a little bit. I still like Terry, but I think with Cam being back, DJ Moore goes up. And I think we're going to see that today.
All right, now who you like in between Gallup, Mooney, both without other top wide receivers going, with the absence of Cooper and Allen Robinson, or a get right with DJ Moore. So we're talking Gallup, Mooney, or DJ Moore.
Just one.
Picking one.
DJ Moore. DJ Moore, Gallup, Mooney in that order.
I agree. Though I think that the gap between Gallup and DJ Moore is very, very close. I'm very high on Gallup this week. I think Gallup's going to put up some big numbers. All right. Jeff Wilson Jr. or Bateman PPR. I think I know how you're going to answer this.
Who was it? Bateman and who? I'm sorry.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Oh, Jeff Wilson Jr. Absolutely.
Setting your DFS lineups?
Yep.
Deciding who to switch out?
I'm making a whole new one right now. I'm doing a whole new one. I'm finding, and I have a very good idea of where I'm going with this. Because let's see, where are we at here? Where is he? Where's looking to see what Jeff Wilson Jr. is on DFS. Jeff Wilson Jr. is $5,000 on FanDuel. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Absolutely. I'm going for my backup lineup here. I'm gonna get some units in there. And, we were talking about Benny Sanders earlier. I'm going to go ahead and plug him in there, too, with the Josh Allen stack. I like that a lot.
All right.
Yeah, lots of good options. Go ahead. Keep firing all questions. I'm here.
All right. Billy Bob has a question. Which QB wide receiver? I realize one isn't a tandem. Hurts Devonta Smith or Burrow Mike Williams?
Good problem to have. I do like the Hurts Devonta stack normally. I'm facing it today. I'm a little nervous about it, but Devonta Smith is for sure going to get covered by Marcus Lattimore, and we talk about these defensive matchups sometimes, and it's one that has me concerned. So either Devonta Smith could get a ton of passes his way and haul in 6 to 7 receptions and get a touchdown. I mean, we saw him blow up recently and do really good, but we don't know what's going to happen with Miles Sanders being back. Is this going to go into a pure crazy running offense all of a sudden? Like, we really don't know what's coming, and that has me a little worried on that side of the ball. But I do like Burrow a lot. I like Burrow. So he's a good option. And Big Mike Williams has been kind of sketchy, man. I think he's probably going to have a better day today going against the Steelers, but he's been kind of lackluster, man. There was a point where he was wide receiver 2, and now he's wide receiver 70-ish. He's in the 70 range, and that's crazy to me. And people are still starting him hoping that he gets another big production day, and it's going to come, but it's going to come when he's either on the waiver wire or on somebody's bench. So I think that you still roll with the Hurts Devonta stack, just because Hurts is a great fantasy scoring quarterback. That's not to take anything away from Joe Burrow. I think he's still a great start. But I think your safer option is going with the Eagles here.
All right, and this speaks a little bit more to the question that you'd had earlier, and I believe that you already answered this earlier on the show, but I kind of want to get into this a little bit more. Nick asks, am I crazy for benching Saquon Barkley for Deontay Foreman in Week 11?
No, you're not. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I think Foreman's going to get some work, and we don't know if Barkley's for sure going to go yet. So, I mean, take the guaranteed points. And, I mean, it's going to be Foreman and AP. No McNichols. It's just going to be those guys, and they're going against the Texans. That's all you need to know. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, like
I do like Foreman this week, especially knowing that McNichols is out. Even though he has not been shining as much in that offense, it feels like out of all those guys, Foreman has turned to be the guy, which is strange. Because there was a lot of fab budget, a lot of waiver pickups going for both Adrian Peterson and McNichols the first week that Derrick Henry was out. All right, let's see here. Got some more questions. All right. Mark Ingram versus the Eagles or Michael Carter versus the Dolphins at flex?
Ingram. You said Ingram, right?
Yeah, Ingram or Michael Carter?
Yeah, Ingram. All day.
Yeah.
No question. No question. I'm starting him. I'm starting him.
I'm starting him too, but I'm also starting Michael Carter. I think that I think it is a little bit closer. I'd say a sneaky play, and this might hurt Ingram a little bit. I'm not really sure what their workload is, but Tony Jones Jr. is coming off of IR. He is making a return this week, and I think that he is going to eat. I would not be surprised if he eats significantly into Mark Ingram's workload.
I saw that also. Yeah, definitely a little concerning. But yeah, I think it would just be like a change of pace kind of thing, just to give Mark Ingram like a breather type. I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it. He's not going to just come back and all of a sudden take all the work. It's not going to happen. I mean, Ingram's still going to have a good amount of work. And, you know, it was the same thing I told you earlier last week. Basically, we see, what do you call it? We see Ingram get brought in. I think Kamara was already dealing with the injury, and I don't think that the injury is significant, as this is more a rest situation. I think it was more like a tweak, and they just want to go ahead and give him a little break. And I think Ingram coming back literally into a system that he's already super familiar with is going to give Kamara the much needed break and give Ingram the work. And he showed last week that he's still capable of putting in that work.
All right, so we got a question coming in on the Twitch. Thoughts on Fields today? So Bud and I already talked about this extensively earlier. We are both in on Fields today. Both of us are starting it over some of our injured players. We like him. We like his upside. We like what he is doing with the team, continuing to build chemistry week over week. And I see that you're in a similar situation as me. I'm starting Fields with Kyler Murray out. But the other option is Carson Wentz. What is your thoughts here, Bud? I think this might actually be your scenario going Wentz or Fields.
Yeah, no, it's close. I have Wentz, but I'm starting Cam over him. And I do like Fields. Fields I have as a dynasty quarterback. But I think he's going to get going on the ground, and I think this is the Bears' game to win. Wentz I do like, but if the Bills' defensive line keeps up the way it has been, yeah, then there's going to be some blitzing going on there, and we know Wentz is not capable of scrambling out of the pocket. And yeah, I see the field ceiling. I said, don't be surprised if he's able to run for close to 100 and throw for a touchdown or two. I think a touchdown is throwing touchdown is probably more likely. I don't know if he's going to get to in particular, but I do think that he has a really good chance. I mean, if we see the Ravens struggles on defense against the Dolphins last week, that should be a clear indicator. I do think that Fields is going to get the work, and if they let him and they continue to let him run the ball like he should, then it should be a good day for him. And that's what makes a lot of fantasy quarterbacks. That your Josh Allen's, your Jalen Hurts, your Lamar Jacksons, the guys are able to run, scramble, get out of dodge and avoid the sack, and them letting Fields get out and run a little bit is what's going to make him get the points that you're going to need. And especially if you're looking at 100-yard bonuses for rushing and things of that nature. So I do really like it. Yeah, there you go. I like it. I'm starting Fields myself.
Yes.
I got a Fields. Check this out. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Like this.
Here we go.
I have the Fields rushing yards over 37.5.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Bud is placing bets left and right. He is all in on Justin Fields. He is running away to try to scrape more money out from underneath his couch to place more irresponsible bets on the Chicago Bears versus the Lamar Jackson list, Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, let's go. We're taking this. Bud and I both bet live on the air for the Chicago Bears to win outright this game. I can't believe we're doing this, but we're both all in on Fields. We're both all in on the Bears, and we are ready to take this. And I guess Bears or die, right? Did you just empty your savings account to place more money on the Chicago Bears or on Justin Fields? Oh, the man's still muted.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in on Montgomery too. I think Montgomery's gonna have a. I'm rooting so hard for the Bears today. I never thought I would, but it just happened all of a sudden. I woke up and chose Chicago for some reason. But yeah, and it
Lamar
looks like
Jackson is what happened.
And when I took the Justin Fields rushing prop, I guess I took it twice. So I'm in twice. But like I said, it was 37.5 at that time. So what's it at now? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it went up, if
Monty
it moved
or
at
die.
all.
Monty or die.
Die.
Ah, man. Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield?
Oh, man. Ooh. Man, that I'm going to get sick like Lamar Jackson just based off of that.
Just imagine it being your own lineup.
I'm about 50-50, just like Lamar was the other day. Man, Baker maybe. I think the Texans are going to have a hard time against the Tennessee defense. Yeah, I like Dan Arnold over rec yards too. It's really nice. For sure.
You took that, didn't you? Or did you take the receptions?
That might be on my 7-legger. No. I love tight end props. Tight end props are my favorite props. So you'll never. Yeah, I do. I actually have not the rec yards. I have the over on Dan Arnold receptions, over 4.5.
Oh yeah.
So I think he gets 5 receptions today. What else do I have? Oh, I have the Dawson Knox over receptions on 3.5, but that's me being a homer. But yeah, I love tight end props.
Yeah, they're
really good.
I have taken the over 5.5 receptions for Jalen Waddle every week since sports gambling became legal in Florida.
I got it over there too. Believe me. There's a lot of good props, and half the battle is with that is finding the props when they get or hitting before news comes out of somebody being out, because then they get removed and then they change things and then they put them back up, and it's like, all right, I got you. And I think actually they lowered the rushing prop on Fields since I put that in. It was 37.5. They lowered it a yard.
I like that.
So
36.5.
Vegas seems to think that Justin Fields is not going to run today, which couldn't be further from the truth. So, what did he run for last game? Let's see if we can find out here.
All right. Meanwhile, I have a question for you. Non-PPR,
What's up?
Mark Andrews against Dallas Goddard without Lamar Jackson.
You said non-PPR?
Yeah, so standard, Andrews without Lamar, or Goddard.
Man, it's hard without Lamar. I don't know how I feel about that. especially in non PPR. I do like Dallas Goddard. I have ownership of both guys. Goddard is back. They just gave him a big contract, so maybe that makes him happy a little bit. Jalen Hurts likes throwing to his tight ends, so I'd say Goddard. Nah. I would play it smart. Just go with Andrews. I mean, he is a top 5 guy. So I think you still got to stick with Andrews and hope that Huntley lean on him a little bit in the passing game. But I still think it's close. I don't think you could go wrong either way. But standard kind of hurts it for me a little bit.
All right. So yeah, it is tough. Yeah, he says Smith does get Lattimore, so
all right. So last 4 games for Fields rushing. Against Green Bay, Week 6, he had 43. Against Tampa, he had 38. And then week before last, he had 103. And then he had 45 in Week 9 against Pittsburgh, then had the bye. So I don't see why he wouldn't continue to run, let alone break 36.5 points or rushing yards. I think he gets that.
All right, you just put the rent on the Fields rushing over. So did I.
Hey, if you win, you get double rent, so you can pay two months of rent. Screw it. Let's go, man.
That's how we do it now. That's how we're doing it.
I need more money to bet more money next week for Thanksgiving games.
Exactly. All right. Need quick fantasy help. Flex Elijah Moore or Latavius Murray.
I say Moore just because Lat Murray's coming off an injury.
And we still don't know who. That's something I wouldn't want to bet on, who's going to lead that backfield in rushing this week.
Yeah, I'm staying away.
Man. All right.
We only got a few minutes here.
Oh, man, we do. 12:56. I am not sure what I'm doing with my lineup. I still have this whole dilemma. Am I starting Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield? Am I doing the Landry Mayfield stack? Man, Superflex is hard when everyone takes all the quarterbacks and you're stuck with Baker Mayfield or Tyrod Taylor. Man. All right.
That's a challenge.
I'll let you answer this question while I figure out what I'm doing with that. PPR League, Clayton or Bateman? Had Bateman in lineup, but now Lamar Jackson is out.
Wait, Clayton?
Who's Clayton?
Who or what is a Clayton?
John Clayton? John Clayton or Rashad Bateman? All right, Packers or Eagles defense this week? Packers are going against the Minnesota Vikings on the road. Eagles at home against the Saints.
I like Eagles a little more. I don't like either, but I think Eagles is a little bit better. I think we're going to see a pretty stacked match against between the Packers and the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. Dalton, Schultz, or Dallas Goddard?
That one's close. I like Schultz more.
All right. Deontay Foreman or Jarvis Landry?
Foreman.
All right. Jeff Wilson and Browns D or T. Higgins and Panthers D? Are they tied together?
Defense?
Are they tied together? All right, let's just.
I like Jeff Wilson a lot.
Yeah. Or Browns defense or Panthers defense, I guess, is the other part of this.
Panthers defense. Panthers defense.
All right. Let's see here. Running out of time. Tony Collins, Bateman, or Darrell Williams as my flex?
Tony Collins, Bateman.
Or Darrell Williams.
Man, that one's tough for flex. I like Tony a little more, but that's me being biased. Maybe Bateman.
All right. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't love any of those people this week. Man, this is going to be a weird week. A lot of injuries to starting quarterbacks, a lot of weird situations, but one thing we know for sure, the Chicago Bears are going to destroy the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Fields rushing for 100 yards, passing for 200 yards, 3 total touchdowns.
Oh, gosh.
We're all in on Fields. He's going to have himself a Fields day.
Oh, stop it.
All right,
Stop.
Before we sign off, real quick, let's just get to some breakout player of the week. It is 1 o'clock. The games are starting now. I think I may have actually just ended up starting the Baker Mayfield Jarvis Landry stack, and I'm probably going to regret it. So while I try to hide my regret in some breakout player of the week. So let's get started with Bobby, whose choice was Rashad Bateman. That was before Bateman or Lamar Jackson was out, but he did not give an updated pick, so we are still going with Bateman for him. And on the other side, John, who was also not here, Joe Flacco.
Boo. Nobody likes that.
Bud, who is your pick for breakout player of the week?
Breakout player of the week. Why, it's Boise State product tight end John Bates for the Washington football team. The man is 6'6", 250 pounds as a blocking tight end, but he got 3 wrecks last week. SJ is out. Logan Thomas is still out. This man is going to get points, and he's a sneaky DFS buy. And I think he's going to be the breakout player of the week. Only projected for 5.5 points. I think he finds the box today.
Yeah, you know who else is going to find the box is Jalen Waddle, my breakout player of the week. Going to be also in that Jets-Dolphins matchup that John is attending live, which is why he can't be on the show today. So, yeah, I am going with Jalen Waddle. Bud is going with the guy whose name I already forgot. Bobby is going with Rashad Bateman. And John is going with Joe Flacco. So those are our breakout players of the week. These are the players that we project to go higher than their ESPN PPR projections. So if you haven't already, please check us out. We are on Instagram, Twitter, at LMF Scramble. You could also find us over on Twitch at LMF Scramble. Please give us a subscribe there. It really helps our channel out, and it helps us be able to answer your questions every week. Last but not least, check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts at the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. We post our waiver wire show there every Tuesday. Appreciate the love, appreciate the support, appreciate all the questions, because we're there to help you, help each other out, and help us win some fantasy football championships. So, Bud, any last words you want to say to the audience before we go out and turn on the Red Zone channel?
Good luck, and hope everything goes your way this week. Win some props, win your matchups, get to the playoffs.
Go Bears!
And go Bears. Yeah, go Bears.
All right, guys, we will see you. We will be posting our waiver wire show on Tuesday, and we will stay tuned in. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram. We will be announcing soon what we will be doing for Thanksgiving. But anyway, enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll be with you in some way, shape, or form on Thanksgiving, so be on the lookout for that, and good luck this week.